This is a continuation of my early recording today. I'm trying to do a follow-up, continue that train of thought. I'd originally started off with just going to give a brief description of what I was up to and how I was moving forward, and ended up getting into business philosophy and goals and ideologies and where we're trying to move this and how we're trying to move things forward and stay true to this concept and the desired impact above and beyond making a living, generating revenue. So as I was talking before and kind of deviated and got into all that, one of the things I'd mentioned is that I've been kind of living in that environment. I've actually, even now, I'm talking, I'm driving and paying attention to the road, but a section of my mind, a fragment of my consciousness is I'm in that building, I'm in that spot, and I can see I'm running the business. I'm there day to day. I mean, I'm running this through my head simultaneously while I'm doing everything else that I'm doing today, and have been doing this for the last couple of days. So what we pretty much decided after some discussion is that we want to go ahead and move forward in this space. Get 90% sure. We'll do another walkthrough this weekend, get a better feel for the actual dimensions of the space and if we can fit what we want to do conceptually into that space, and if it's worth the price point we're going to be paying for rent there. We did go scout out some spots this past weekend, a couple other coffee shops, places that are similar to what our coffee shop concept would be, and checking the traffic, monitoring how much business they were doing during the period that we were there. How many cars in the parking lot, how many bodies are in the building, what is their average price point, price per person average. Can we generate enough revenue doing that to support signing a lease for this? These are the things we're into right now, the things we're investigating, is trying to get all this sorted out to get a better understanding of the feasibility of this, and again refine the dynamics of the concept itself. There's still a lot of variables that we haven't decided on. Like I said, we butted heads just a little bit. I wanted more of a full service, open every day restaurant, breakfast restaurant, servers and kitchen staff and the works. And again, it was what I was touched on earlier, is I want to keep it small. I want to keep it us. One, because I want the personal contact between us and guests, because that is what we're selling. We're selling our version of this business, and it's not something that was just come to lightly. And that's what makes us unique, is that personal touch. So I'm reviewing in my mind all these other places because I want to keep it, I don't want servers, because I don't want to have to pay them, I don't want to have to track them, I don't want to have to schedule them, I don't have to worry about call-offs and turnover, and I just don't want any of that. I want to simplify it. I want it to be small enough that we can do it just if, Rhonda and I, or even, like I said, maybe one or two employees once we build up to that. But I want to offer as much as I can and push us to those limits, but I want some flexibility too. I want to find that compromise where we're not a slave to this so they kind of have an idea of what they're looking at from an outside vendor's perspective, and then they need to.
And we're holding all deposit, right? I mean, it's not like she's going to get any back.
Yeah, that's very unlikely that she's going to get any deposit back.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll just send over the make ready and let them know and see what she was there. Hopefully, I get a response or something like that.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Thanks.
Phone call completed.
Okay, so the ultimate goal for this was to create this and establish this and get it going, and then pass it off to somebody else who has the same ideals, the same goals. Give somebody else the opportunity to be self-employed and take a concept that I sowed the seeds for and allow them to take it to wherever they want to take it, and hopefully create other concepts and be able to do the same thing, and again, make a profit from it. I'm not creating a charity organization. It's all about profit, but it's profit coupled with pride, honor, integrity, and a belief in this culture that we're trying to establish. So right now, this space that we're talking about is actually divided into 3 separate spaces. And one space used to be a bar, an independent, individual bar that was owned by the same company that owned the restaurant, but it was run separately. And we want to convert that space into this coffee shop space. And then probably the center space, which was the main body of the dining room, I would guess, during this last existence. We're going to convert that into more of a lounge kind of a study kind of a feel, environment, atmosphere. Very comfortable, very inviting. And then where the kitchen space is, have my exhibition kitchen with seating available in there as well. And then share that lounge space between the coffee shop and the restaurant. The restaurant, again, is geared more towards experimental cuisine, comfort food, just really celebrating life with food on a nightly basis. And but I'm toying with the idea of just doing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, something like that. And I'm toying with doing different levels on different nights. Something. The idea when it first hit me as Munificus was an all-inclusive, pay one fee to sit down and get to indulge and enjoy everything that we come up with that night. But there's different price points that we can target for and different levels of food that we can put out from a cost standpoint and do maybe a low, middle, and high-end night. Still haven't figured out exactly how I want to proceed with that. It's up in the air, but the general concept is there, and it's just a matter of I want to have free reign to experiment and provide anything and everything that I can, but at that price point you're eliminating a certain clientele that can't afford it. So I want to do something, I want to make it accessible for everybody. Anybody that enjoys food, I want them to be able to come and try and enjoy it, but I want to maximize on my profit and the experience. So I'm still toying around with that, but I think that the coffee shop itself can keep everything afloat, and everything else again allows for flexibility and additional income. I think we can utilize that lounge space in the middle for private functions, if we can get that going, promote that, draw interest for that. But basically it would be a kind of a meeting point somewhere in the middle, and I want to take the old salon concept and promote that in that space too. I really want to promote interactions on a higher level, more intellectual and artistic and philosophical. Just really want it to be not only about indulging in one of the greatest physical pleasures that we can indulge in dining, but also stimulate intellectual exchange. So just a lot going into all this, and it's a matter of getting all these pieces to fit together and making them run harmoniously. So that's kind of where we're at with all of that. Once we get in there and I get an idea of some of the dimensions, I know, what the square footage available is, but I need to figure out, how that square footage is allocated inside. Is there enough room to put the walk-ins in the kitchen space, or are we going to have to put those in? Are we going to have to expand and reconfigure the walls in there to space those out, put those somewhere else? Is there enough room for an office? Is there enough room to create a spacious lounge area, plus have tables and seating in the primary exhibition kitchen area, and then will we be able to interchange? Will we be able to shift things around when necessary? Again, I'm going back on all of my experiences in this industry over the last 30 years and trying to generate a working program that allows for all of these. And I was running through some of the things in my mind today. Again, I'm heavily focused on this being like a counter service kind of a restaurant, which a lot of the places that we go to that we like, that's where they're running. They're running. You order at the counter, and you have a seat. The food comes out to you, and I like that because it takes service staff out of the equation. And I was again trying to maximize what the number of people that we could serve with just me, and so I'm really kind of basing this fundamentally on the food truck concept. One person in a food truck serving and doing everything. Taking the orders, making the food, boxing it, collecting the money, and selling it off. You don't get the higher, guest count, traffic flow that you would maybe want, but that's where we can work and figure out where we can turn things around. And then I went back and I was like, all right, so where in my career have I done this? And I started thinking about, I was a chef for Sodexo Marriott, and we did food service for one of the John Deere buildings where I'm from, back in the Quad Cities. And it was basically a one-man show. I got there first thing in the morning at 5 o'clock, and I prepped breakfast stuff, got that out. I prepped a full lunch buffet every day, and this was what they called then upscale corporate dining. So it wasn't, like Golden Corral kind of buffet. It was higher end items that were geared more towards the professionals that worked in this building, which I liked. Just couldn't never get past the reality of that it was a cafeteria when it all was boiled down. I was working in a cafeteria. I was chefing in a cafeteria, but it was an upscale cafeteria, and it gave me a chance to make food that I enjoyed making, that other people enjoyed eating. It was a much higher standard than what you would get in a cafeteria. cafeteria or an all-you-can-eat buffet, and it wasn't all you can eat. You paid by the plate. You got whatever was serving, and you paid according to what dish you got that day. But I did it for a year as a one-man show. We had a grill also, which we had a grill cook, which I was basically supervised, and they had what they did, but from the perspective I'm coming from here, is I was able to do it on my own. And then I started thinking about the bar that I ran for a brief period. That was one of those nightmare stories that I have from my past, and I was basically ran that solo, single-handedly. There was days where I was the server, and there were and I was the cook, and I was the dishwasher, and I was the bartender, and I was everything. And so I know it can be done because I have done it. I've actually physically done it in these other environments, and all I'm doing is tweaking some of the details and combining some of them to create a dynamic that's not like anything out there. I can't really base it on anything else because there's nothing like that right now. But that's what I'm doing, where I'm going with it, and I'm excited. And again, I'm living this in my mind, to a certain extent every day. I mean, even when I'm laying in bed at night, I'm thinking about business service and how I would do it, and tweaking. If I did it this way, this would be the result. If I did it this way, this would be the result. Where could Rhonda be if we were bringing in extra people, hiring employees? How would we phase them in? What's my end game for getting out? And I see myself there on that site in the restaurant that I've created in my mind every day, all day, and I have for the last couple of days, and I like it. I like the way I'm generating this concept and kind of living in it without having actually done it yet, and it's giving me more ideas. It's allowing me to keep more notes. I keep my phone with me all the time, and I'm constantly in the memo pad typing menu ideas. I think of something that I made 15 years ago. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that, and I'll jot it down so that I have it there and I can remember it. I'm thinking, I'll be at a restaurant and I'll be like, this would be good if you did this with this and this and combined them all together and made this. That's completely unique, and I'll write it down. Or I'm thinking about, I remember, when I worked for this company, I did this, this, and this, and it's perfectly applicable to what I'm trying to do now, and I jot it down. So I'm creating this whole reality for myself mentally, and the next step is to actually manifest it physically, which is where we're going with this. It's what we're doing. So I'm excited. I feel good about it, and I have up days and down days. I have days where I wake up and I'm like, it's too much. I'm overwhelmed. I'm wiped out. But I'm doing property management. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm doing all this on top of all that, and there's just a lot of stuff going on in my head all the time. And there's some days where I just hit that wall and I'm just like, I can't think anymore. I just need to get away and shut down and be absolutely neutral for a little bit. And I try to take those moments when I need to allow myself to kind of recover. And I don't put any conscious effort into it, and I don't try to force it or focus on it. I just try to disconnect, unplug, and allow myself to do a natural reboot and hopefully reboot and come back full of vigor. So that's where we're at.